For this video, we're going to answer this question. How can I decompose fractions? If you remember, we talked about when things decompose, like if a leaf decomposes or food decomposes, that means it breaks down into the things that make it up. So when we decompose a fraction, we break down the fraction into smaller parts. And so if I start with the fraction 7/8, when I decompose that fraction, I could do 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 eighths. That's one way to decompose fractions. I take 7/8 and I break it down into 7/8 added together. You can also decompose fractions in other ways with larger denominators. So if I take my same fraction, 7/8, and I want to decompose it, I could decompose it into 3/8 plus 4/8. 3 plus 4 is equal to 7, and so 3/8 plus 4/8 would be 7/8. 7/8 could also be 6/8 plus 1/8. When I decompose fractions, I break the fraction down into smaller fractions that add together to make that fraction. So I can make 7/8 by adding 1/8 7 times, by adding 3/8 plus 4/8, or by adding 6/8 plus 1/8, or I could say 7/8 equals 2/8 plus 2/8 plus 3/8. There's a lot of different ways to decompose the fractions. You just want to make sure that when you add them together, they're equal to each other because they have that equal sign in between. Make sure that when you decompose it, both sides of the equal side are actually equal to each other. And that's how you decompose fractions.